A lot of Republicans are likely applauding and revering Donald Trump currently for releasing the JFK files, and there's an aspect of this that we should respect. However, this is likely going to fall well short of what the American people need and are looking for. Reason being is there have been 60 plus years to look at this information and to cut out anything that would be damning towards the American government. The issue is this is likely just a gesture of good faith and nothing more. What the government can't come out and say is that the CIA was directly involved with the assassination of a sitting president, JFK. What the American people should be demanding is an understanding around the judgment of what has happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on July 6th of 2019, and about 5.5 years later, we still don't know exactly who is involved. Now, there are three buckets of people who are involved in this. There are the powerful people who helped Epstein from the beginning. There are powerful people who were attempted to be blackmailed but willingly went along with it, as in they were brought to Epstein's island, and because of power and pursuit, they didn't care about the evil that was going on, so they've been a willing participant. And then there are the powerful people who were brought to the island, were blackmailed and corrupted into it, and have been reluctantly participating and going along with this ever since. These are the real people that we should be looking to bring to justice, but the issue is the deep state or the Illuminati or whatever you want to call these people have amassed so much power that they pretty much control the entire infrastructure, which can be demonstrated easily by looking at the S&P 500 and seeing how much of it is owned by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Now, because of how much power they own in terms of the governmental influence, the currency they control, the media and education that they control, the issue is these people aren't going to out themselves. And so Americans are really left with very few options. The American response is not to start a revolution. The American response needs to be playing the game smarter. And this means in our everyday lives, meaning when we go to work, when we go to stores out in public, when we interact with regular Americans, we need to start realizing that the intention is to pit us against one another. We must recognize that how we treat each other, how we behave, and how we interact with the economy directly influences the ability for us to retain our own freedoms and to reject the control that we feel over ourselves and that we are starting to despise and complain about. Playing the game smarter looks like Americans rejecting convenience, rejecting corporations, and supporting local Americans who are in our communities. It looks like Americans pushing for dismantling the two-party political system of Republicans and Democrats. And furthermore, the only other things that we can do are really demand and push for Trump to stop spending money on foreign wars and asking Trump to bring forth transparency on everyone who is involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, if Trump can do these two things, we can have hope that he is truly for the American people, but we can't just settle for this subtle release of the JFK files that came with no announcements of who exactly was participating in this, what the CIA's involvement was, who was the second shooter. We can't let Trump off the hook with this. We need to continue to push for stopping our spending in wars. We need to push to understand who was involved in the Jeffrey Epstein cases. Now, if Trump can follow through on these things, there can be hope for Americans and that true presidents can actually help the American people. If Trump falls short in these areas, what we can just conclude from this is that every single president is being controlled and manipulated through whatever means behind closed doors that we don't know about. And to quote Edward Snowden, who is still being treated like a criminal, when exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, then you are being ruled by criminals.